become the word of the day. You've used it about 4 times.
I know it's just come up a lot. Yeah, it's probably just I can't think of any other words.
Great.
But like in terms of like analog cigarettes as opposed to
I call them acoustic cigarettes.
Acoustic's good.
Yeah, or
good.
the electrics, the old hard drives.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, nice. I got some friends that are very much the MTV unplugged of cigarettes, I guess, then. If they're acoustic.
No digital.
Yeah. Alice in Chains live on MTV.
Yeah, in cigarette form.
Yeah.
We're nailing this.
Mm.
Hello.
Hey.
It's episode 8 of the Hook, Riff and Banger podcast. You're here with Jess. Sunny's on because it's that kind of day. I'm here with Jono from Dr Colossus.
Good to see you again, Jess. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Great shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah. It combines a lot of favourite things.
Yeah, I was thinking like on the way here actually I wonder whether there's any I Hate pods that, for like sludge podcasting. That's just an idea for anyone who wants to start
That is a great idea.
There probably is one.
Leaving a mental note.
Yeah.
There will be after today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me all about who you are, the band, how things got started.
I am the singer and guitarist of Dr Colossus. We started as a duo with my buddy Nath, who's no longer with us. He and I were playing in a band called Honey Trap for a while, which was like a stoner rock thing. And we wanted to just start a project that was a bit heavier and slower and dumber, and we thought we'll make the name something classic, heavy, big, monolithic, colossal, and then he was like, let's say Dr Colossus. Well, maybe the name could be that, and then the either he or I were like the character from The Simpsons and bouncing back and forth. Maybe it could be all songs based on episodes of The Simpsons. And at first it was, just to make ourselves laugh. But then people liked it and we just kind of kept the joke going through the years. And Nathan and I were joined by Mike, the bass player of the Dukes of Deliciousness at the time, and plenty of other bands around the place.
The most energetic man on any stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even off stage.
Yeah.
And then Nath passed away after the first album was recorded. He had a aneurysm, we think. And so he was gone at 29. So the band became from that point on almost a bit of a way for us to just keep our friends close, chat about Nathan, share experiences that we'd had with him up until that point. My brother came on board, and I guess it became like a bit more of a family vibe from there. We decided to keep rolling and make new music and charge on. Yeah.
It certainly seems like more of a family than a band when you watch you guys on stage.
Yeah.
I remember when the first...
Is that because I'm giving mum energy?
Wow, yeah. Yeah, it's all you.
Real mum energy.
Are you the mum of the band?
I probably am, to be honest. Yeah. But I'm also the dad at some points, I guess, as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess on a tour, I've got the tour manager stuff going on a bit in my mind. So there are times where I'll have to be like, we'll all be having a great time, and that's great, fellas, but we need to, come on, can we shut up and get on the
We've got a job to do.
And we got to do
everybody on the bus.
We've got to be here at this time. We've got to get up in the morning. So maybe I do give a bit of a parental energy there.
Someone's got to.
Someone's got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of your favourite Melbourne or just local bands? Also any influences, I think.
Yeah, favourite Melbourne bands. I'm like a big Private Function fan. I've been listening to a lot of Al Carlson at the moment. I like Irreverent artists and irreverent bands that are maybe a little bit cutting or jarring or pushing some lines and pushing some limits.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Private Function's one of the only bands in the last little while where I had thought this is genuinely dangerous and rock and roll adjacent or specific. So yeah, like those guys. Who else is good? The new Gutless. I was listening to the new Gutless record.
It rips.
The other day. That rules. My buddy Azza is in a band called Carcinoid, like a really staunch death metal band. Their lineup's kind of solidified again now as a new outfit. And I saw them play. They played with us not too long ago at the Tote. I said to my brother, if I didn't know Azza, they'd probably be my favorite band at the moment. But you know, when you got a friend in a band, you kind of like, oh, they're a friend's band. But if I didn't know them, I'd be just like, I think I'd be a fanboy, you know?
Yeah.
Azza and Jess, I've known Azza for a long time and his partner Jess. And yeah, that's like, I'm proud of how much they've put into that band and how solid and unforgiving it sounds. Yeah.
They seem to be just getting better and better with each live show as well.
Yeah.
I know they've had a slight lineup change recently with a vocalist. But they're just massive.
Stage. They've done a few like, I've like slightly shifted in their approach too. So now it's kind of extreme, but extreme in two different kind of directions at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, fast, blistering, grindy stuff, and then just big, slow contrasts. Yeah.
Take you through all the emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One of the hardest questions that we ask everybody that comes on the pod is do you have a favourite Melbourne or just local band that doesn't exist anymore?
It's funny, I was listening to Nathan from Ghost Smoker when I was checking this pod out before coming on, and he stole my thunder.
You're going to say Blood
Duster. And probably for similar reasons as well, like another irreverent, offensive band that that rocked my brain a bit when I was a kid. And then getting to meet or knowing those guys as peers in essence of different bands that they're all a part of now. Kind of for multiple reasons, they're still a band that I think could come back and do important, vital stuff.
Yeah.
In for metal and grind and hardcore style stuff. So yeah, and Damaged as well. I think they got mentioned in another response. I've listened to like a few of the pods, by the way.
Well done. Thank you.
But I think with Damaged, it's like, they were a volatile band, and like a lot of these bands that depart the world, maybe there's a certain volatility that should never be harnessed again.
Yeah.
And the beauty of a lot of those bands is they were here for a short period of time, exploded, and then could not be continued.
Yeah.
And there's a beauty in finishing an act up, and they become a legacy act or something of the past.
Like closing the book and that project being of its time. And
Yeah.
you can revisit it at any time, but it existed when it had to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like Tism now are coming back and doing these shows. And I still think Tism are probably one of the rare ones that can pull it off.
Yeah.
But there's a very fine line between this beautiful memory you have of the act, and even some of those like little beautiful things are killed when you see them in the flesh, or you see them come back and do something 20 years later. So who knows? I'm an advocate of bands letting it sleepy dogs lie and hanging up the boots permanently.
Yeah. Kind of like reviving a sequel to a movie.
Exactly.
When it's not necessary.
Exactly. Like
leave it where it was.
Gladiator 2 of the grindcore world, We don't
exactly
need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's only bands like that really that were originally pushing back against the genre that they were a part of, that I think I would welcome back.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a gatekeeper of welcoming bands back or not. Like, I'll allow them to come back together. But yeah, Blood Duster at least were always reacting to the music they were associated with. Like, we don't need more grindcore bands. We don't need more death metal bands. Like, you need to be bringing something new to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think good riddance.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Redact all.
Yeah. I don't want them back. Yeah.
Melbourne Grind and Death is red hot at the moment too. So let them do what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Yeah.
You've played a lot of amazing venues in Melbourne. I've seen a lot of really fun shows of yours in very different venues. Do you have a favourite venue to play or watch bands?
Favorite venue to watch bands. I mean, I was thinking about the Forum the other day. It can be one of the best and it can be one of the worst at times. I think if the front of house mixer is losing the plot, it can be a real wasted opportunity to see big internationals come through. But when the sound is working, the Forum is like my favorite place to go and watch a band probably. And then to play, Tote's good. And it's a tough question, and I know I've been prompted to answer it, but I think maybe Northcote Social Club's pretty good to play as well, just because it's a low ceiling and a wide stage. Got a lot of room to move around. And I think any of those kind of venues that have got a large, wide stage, for better or worse, I think at least for Dr. Colossus, it's a nice opportunity to kind of move around a bit and do the pantomime and do the silly buggers. Stay Gold's another good one. So yeah, we've got a good mix of 300 cap rooms in Melbourne still. That's probably the sweet spot for us. Yeah.
All venues that you could see the whole stage, which is really important when watching a Simpsons flavoured band.
I was trying to think, were you booking that venue yonks ago when...
In the city?
Yeah.
No, I just worked behind the bar.
Because I was trying to remember how I'd met you before.
Yeah. I was thinking about this on the way here. There was a venue called Getty's Lane Ballroom, which used to be Showgirls Bar 20, the three-tiered strip club on King Street.
Yeah, I'll take your word for that. But I was talking to my bro about this, and he was like, he's like, I think it was an old strip club because I remember the stripper poles in there. Yep. And I was like, well, I think it's Jess that's doing the podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the way here because that's where I got the Dank on cassette. I don't know whether that was an album launch or whether that was just a gig, but I remember that show.
They're all just gigs, aren't they? Anyway,
aren't they? I remember that gig very distinctly. Yeah, so three-tiered venue, ex-strip clubs, poles still everywhere.
Yeah.
The stage that you played on was in the shape. It was in a shape, if you use your imagination, of what you'd imagine a strip club stage would look like, and it was called The Thrust.
Oh, wow.
Which is perfect for a band that has costume and a lot of theatre aspect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it actually was a really nice kind of venue, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe there was just some questionable business models going on behind the scene.
I was just a bartender, man.
Yeah.
Just pouring beers.
But anyway, that's the sort of venue that when I walk into, I go, you can put a show on here.
Yeah.
You know, Old Bar's great for delivering immediate stuff, but if you want to expand a bit upon it and use the stage for production-y sort of stuff, then I'm kind of like the wide rooms are good for me for that side of things. Getting some tech work done here. Like very important.
We're live. This
is actually pretty good.
It's pretty great. Yeah, we're getting better and better as the eps go on.
It's a professional operation.
For those not watching the video of this podcast, we've got some live tech assistance happening as we go.
The benefit of the tape.
Yeah. As Melbourne's favourite Doom Simpsons flavoured band, is there one Simpsons character that you would love to collaborate with, and who would it be?
I guess I've always liked the underdog characters. So, and I think that a lot of the obscure humor and the kind of deep cut humor that I still go back to and still enjoy when I watch an episode is from these characters that are the pathetic, downtrodden, incidental characters in The Simpsons. I think Gil's always been a bit of a figurehead of the band in that respect because he's just a battler.
Yeah.
And making fun of the kind of the holy cow is not to punch down in humor in comedy, and particularly these days. But there's something so funny about the sadness of Gil's character, and I think the more pathetic characters for me are the ones that would be the collaborators. Yeah. I'd like to do something with Gil.
Yeah.
Bowman and these are the characters. We don't know all that much about their lives. They haven't developed them all that much. But we know the vibe of we know the vibe of those characters. Yeah.
Can I Borrow a Feeling, the new Dr. Colossus track?
Yeah.
Unreleased.
I think there's definitely some Van Houten gold to be tapped into for sure. Yeah.
I'd like to hear it. I'd like to see it. I think it'd be great.
Oh, I'd like to hear any new music because we're trying to finish a record. So I'm just like anything that pops up is worth throwing on the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
How far into the new record are you?
We've probably got about 45 minutes of we've got a record full of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not. Some of those songs are 15 minutes long. It's like, it's more about taking the multitude of ideas we have and harnessing them into songs. Sounds like someone's doing a little burnout out there.
It's a Sunday. Someone's doing laps.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll harness it down and we'll try and hone what we've got, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the process of recording an album like for you guys?
Very slow.
Yeah, because you guys are all spread all over the place, aren't you?
Yeah, my brother's in, Joel is in Portland, Josh is in Torquay, Mike's in Geelong, I'm in Melbourne. And so we demo and pile up demos and riff banks of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we just build out the songs that seem to take a bit of a hook on us. And then once we've got enough tracks that we think would probably fill a record, we've started to Joel will generally be the guy who's going to record it, and we do it ourselves. Whether or not we do it again like that this time, we'll see. There's always, I've always wanted to record some Colossus stuff with Fuller of Blood Dust that we were speaking about before. And maybe one day we'll do something there, but I'm kind of, at the moment, we're probably a really hard band to work with in a recording sense that if we're doing it ourselves, at least it's only us that's getting punished. We're not paying someone and punishing them. Yeah. So
it's very gracious of you.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to work with us that much. So yeah.
DIY.
I'm happy to be a part of the four of us annoying each other while we do it. And probably annoying Joel the most because he has to edit it and mix it later. Yeah.
I'm sure all of it just adds to the record.
Yeah. Definitely.
You feel the pain that you all went through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think all the best records, most of the greatest albums in the world and all those classic albums, the classic album series, those albums were nightmares to make for the band. Like we all go, like Back in Black, what an amazing record, or like, Def Leppard if you're that way inclined, Hysteria or something like that. But those records were just like agony for the people who had to make them. And the producers are just like cracking the whip for months and months and months. Bands are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and it sucks for them, but it's the best album that, like, the fans are just like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always a balancing act. I don't know if, if you ever come up with a piece of art that's like, that was so good to make, that was the funnest project, it was the most satisfying, fulfilling thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And it's a great album as well. I don't know how often that happens. Pretty rarely, probably.
It's a tricky recipe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we haven't got it right yet.
Well, everything sounded great so far, so
That's
maybe
good.
don't try and get it right.
They're all horrible experiences. They weren't actually.
Every record that you love was a horrible experience to record for the band.
I hope that ruins. Yeah. Every
Keep
good
buying records.
Yeah, don't stop. Keep the machine going.
Yeah. Now, a live show of yours is a pretty memorable experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
For some.
Well, for some.
Yep.
Yeah. What have been some of the more crazy live experiences that you've been a part of?
We've had, I guess, we had a good tour with Oakley Dokley, the Ned Flanders band from the States.
That was the best tour that could have ever been
I know.
announced ever.
There was, and there was a kind of, I don't know. We were probably fueling a fire online a bit of them being like a competitive, or there was a sort of a rival element.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd blown up in a huge way online.
Yeah.
So part of that was us kind of just cashing in on riding their coattails as a Simpsons themed band too.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we'll jump on these tours with you.
Yeah. Just starting a secret rivalry to boost ticket sales.
Yeah, exactly.
Genius.
And all you've got to do to start that is be like, let's take a band like, I'm just thinking Ghost Smoker, because Nathan was on here the other day and he seemed like such a nice, well-spoken, emotionally intelligent guy. But it would be really funny to be like, despite what everyone says, there is no rivalry between Ghost Smoker and Dr. Colossus. So I'm not saying there is, but I'm just saying I'm denying some fake rivalry there. Or like, we've heard, a lot of people have been sort of talking about that rivalry. It doesn't exist. So we would just do that with Oakley Dokley all the time and just be like, there's no hard feelings with Oakley Dokley. Like, we really respect them as people. Da 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 da. And immediately, like, people are like, "Oh, you guys are way better than them." It's like it breeds this like online kind of spat. And I think if you're working towards getting tickets to selling tickets to shows, that's an online spat that works kind of well.
Great, you heard it here first.
The versus thing. So maybe we'll do like a Ghost Smoker versus. It's interesting. I was just starting this like not fake rivalry here.
Yeah.
I actually love those guys, but
this will be the clickbait part of the rivalry between Dr. Colossus and Ghost Smoker.
Yeah, you just grab the headline and you take it all out of context. Perfect.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that to sell records, I think that's good. If you're doing it to win elections, maybe not. Yeah. Sorry, too soon.
Great. Yeah. We've started rivalries. We've done everything on this episode.
Yeah.
Great. Now you've got your enormous Christmas shows happening at the Bendy on the 21st of December.
Yep.
And the Barwon Club on the 22nd.
Yeah.
What should everybody look forward to at these Christmas bonanzas?
We're going to probably play at least one new song.
Yep.
And we're probably going to play some really old stuff that we just haven't been playing at all. We're not at that point where we're doing an album launch for any new material, but at the same time, we're like, it'd be good to stretch some of the legs of these songs and just in front of a crowd. Sometimes that can influence how a song will end up. As soon as you start playing it in a gig context, I think for us, it's a really good way to work out the tempo of a track, because for me, I'll often write songs deliberately for like a head motion. Like I think about gigs that I go to when a band sings into a groove, and I actually try and like I'll set a tempo that I'm like, that is exactly like if I was at the gig and I was watching this riff, that is the speed I'd want it to be at. If I was standing about 3/4 of the way back at the tote,
Yeah.
this is the riff. And I will write stuff based on like the experience I want it to have in the room. So I think we'll try out a couple of these riffs in front of the crowd, and we'll pretty quickly go, it was too quick. We need to slow it down a bit. Like
Right.
It felt rushed in front of the crowd. Or like we played it a bit slower and it was perfect, or whatever it is. So sometimes it's good to just throw them into the mix every once in a while before the record stuff gets done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Road test it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting towards the end of this episode. I have one final question for you.
That was such a quick that was a really quick experience.
We're just having yarns. We're just having chats. We could be chatting all day. Final question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think the best material to make a vest out of is?
I think like I'd probably take a leaf out of Private Function always talk about Western Australian bands coming over and ruining Melbourne music scene. So I'd probably say the skin of any other bands from Western Australia. With all love and respect.
This whole episode has been rivalry, drama, gossip.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's say that.
Is it the skin of Ghost Smoke?
Nah, I don't even know those guys personally, so I'm not gonna like. I like them band, but I'm not familiar enough with them as guys to start like saying stuff like that. But I'm trying to think of a band we're kind of friends with. Do you know Droid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the best vest to make. The best vest is the skin of the members of Droid.
This is not where I thought this was going to go.
Dry it out.
I thought you were going to say something like fruit leather or something, so you could have a little snack. All right. Well, you heard it here first. There you go.
I was just trying to think of like they're all really lovely guys, and they've always been fun to do shows with, and so that's what I would endorse them being dispatched of and scun.
Fantastic. You'll be able to buy those vests at the merch table.
Yeah, Droid vests.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
21st of December at the Bendigo Hotel.
Yep. Which is now owned by
the Mill.
The Mill. Cracking lager. Melbourne. Independent, superior.
Legends.
And not a sponsor yet of the pod. Mill.
21st of December at the Bendy.
Yep.
New sound system with Giant and Refuge.
Is it a new sound system?
It is.
There?
Sounds good in there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then the 22nd at the Barwon Club.
Yep.
For the Geelong fans.
House and the Dukes of Deliciousness.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Mike on double duty.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the pod.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jess.
Anytime.
Yay. Oh, I got a Christmas present for you too. I don't know if you're still recording. But there's Gleno, the artist of Dr. Colossus's art, found these like Frank Grimes like Ride the Lightning shirts in an op shop, and he bought 5 of them. I've got 2 of them, so yeah, you guys can divvy it up amongst yourselves. And there's a couple of records there too. So yeah, Merry Christmas.
My God, Merry Christmas, everyone.
It glows in the dark. It glows in the dark.
It glows in the dark.
Yeah.
You've set the bar so high for future podcast guests.
Exactly. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Hail Santa.
Yeah. Hail
Dr.
Santa.
Colossus this December at all the venues. Oh my God. That was great.
Nice. Cool.
Just became the top tier guest.